Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
And we welcome you back to the Colonial Life Arena as the Class A Boys Basketball State Championship is in the books. Great Falls with a 79-61 win over Johnsonville. This is the Weekend of Champions on the SCHSL Network. My name is John Verstig along with Bob Shields, and certainly for Great Falls and Johnsonville in the game we just saw in the Class A Boys Basketball State Championship game, the old story, a tale of two halves, just a 3-point lead in the first quarter, 6-point lead in the second quarter, and then Great Falls really took over in the third quarter.
Well, that run that the Great Falls had, and I likened it to a boxing match, John, is every time it seemed Great Falls had Johnsonville put away, Great Falls made a great run, 79-61. Talking with John Smith, the legendary John Smith, 43 years at Great Falls as the head coach. And before the game, he told me balance is the key. And boy, that's exactly what they got. The big guy there, Xavier Holmes, the senior. By the way, this senior class making its fourth consecutive trip to the state championship as they close out, going back-to-back championship winners. 18 points, 20 rebounds, 6 blocks, just shy of the triple-double. And then Brandon Crisco, the other senior, from the outside, kept that Johnsonville defense honest. And then Ernest Talford, an interesting story, yet another senior, as we mentioned, 22 points to back it up, big down the stretch. Ernest Talford, actually also a football player, in fact, has signed with the Naval Academy as a running back. Outstanding student athlete, Ernest Talford. John Smith wins his eighth state championship as head coach at Great Falls. Everyone expected Great Falls to be here. Johnsonville kind of spoiled the mix a little by upsetting Burke. But boy, you got to give Johnsonville a lot of credit for the way they just kept scrapping.
And Xavier Holmes, I was just about to say, is anyone a few years from now going to remember the fact that he had 18 points, or are they going to remember that dunk that he had on that beautiful half-court pass?
No question, it is the alley-oop half-court dunk. Now, I actually was not here last night, but that has to be the highlight of the Weekend of Champions thus far. Certainly well worth getting that DVD for. I'll trust you on that.
No question about that. As we take a look at what's coming up in just a little bit here on the SCHSL Network, the game that's coming up at 2:30, Columbia, the Capitals at 23-4 against Bishop England from the Low Country, 27-0. Bishop England looking for its first ever undefeated season in girls basketball. 100 state titles, looking for their first in hoops. And you take a look at that Bishop England, it's really the program that's been the story. But for the Columbia Capitals, they've got an experienced head coach and Bobby Young, his 38th year, 6 state titles, 8 times he's been to the state finals. As we take a look at how they got there here to Columbia. Columbia with a 43-36 win over Keenan in the Upper State Championship, and then Bishop England a 61-50 victory over Lake City in the Lower State Championship. Michelle Boykin with 25 points, but certainly going to be very interesting to see if Bishop England can pull off the undefeated season. And what their head coach, Paul Runny, has said is that, look, we've had this kind of monkey on our back the whole time, that whole undefeated season, and he addressed it early in January and said, listen, we're not looking to go undefeated, we're looking to go to the state tournament, and it's really done well for him.
Well, they've gotten it here, and Bishop England has just a wealth athletic riches, if you will. A well-supported program there, not just in basketball, all of the sports. Although the Lady Caps do have a little home court advantage here. They are the Columbia Lady Caps, and Coach Bobby Young knows a thing or two about winning state championships. As you mentioned, he has won 6 state titles, although it has been a long, dry spell for Columbia getting in here to Colonial Life Arena. I think it's going to be an outstanding game, John.
No question about it, and they are on a 15-game winning streak. They are led by Narisha Vikram with her 16 points per game. Dorothy Brown, the guard, with 15 on the average. And yeah, for Bishop England, it's been a trifecta of players. Mary Moore with 12.3 points per game on the average. Michelle Boykin, Amber Corbett, both those players averaging 13. So really been more of a matter of Bishop England getting more balanced play on the scoring side of things in Columbia with a couple horses. Should be a great game today as it's Columbia and Bishop England, and we'll send it over to our broadcast team, Birch and Allen, after this timeout on the SCHSL television network.
Tyler Ryan here with some Brakes for Less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a 2-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Brakes for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 4-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Brakes for Less is the only way to stop.
Brakes for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol-whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Greetings from Columbia and the Colonial Life Arena on the campus of the University of South Carolina in the heart of the Congaree Vista. It is your site for the Class 2A Girls State Basketball Championships as the Columbia Capitals, 23-4, set to take on the Battling Bishops of Bishop England High School with that perfect record on the line, 27-0. Hello, everybody. I am Birch Antley, joined along by Alan Smothers. And Alan, we're looking forward to a fantastic game here today as the home crowd here cheering for the Capitals of Columbia, but the Bishop England Battling Bishops, that perfect record on the line.
They are 27-0 coming in 2A basketball and had to fight off a valiant Lake City team last week. But I tell you what, the coach for Bishop England feels like his team is destined. They say they're not in any pressure. They don't feel any undue problem to be here. But the Columbia team, they're looking forward to keeping the state championship right here in the capital city.
Well, the Capitals of Columbia are led by a talented player, an all-state selection, and that is number 20, Narisha Vikram, right there.
Narisha is averaging over 16 points a ball game and pulls down 6.5 rebounds per game as well. This team has been to the state championship game 9 times, won 4 of them, looking for their 5th this year.
Well, on the sidelines for the Columbia Capitals is head coach Bobby Young. He's been here before. 9 state championship appearances, 4 state titles for Coach Young. He is in his 38th year leading the Columbia Capitals, and we talked to him before the game to see what he told his players about playing in this state title.
Well, I'm going to tell them, I believe in being consistent. I don't like to change things. I'm going to tell them the same thing that I've told them all year. When I go in the dressing room prior to the game, right before the game, I'll tell them I want them to play hard, play smart, guard the ball, and have fun.
All right, that's head coach Bobby Young. He's been here before, as we said, no stranger to the state championships. On the other side of the ledger, Alan, the Battling Bishops of Bishop England High School, they are led by a very talented point guard. We really like her. That's Caitlin Grisillo.
Caitlin Grisillo is averaging 9.5 points a game, but where she does her damage is in the open court. She distributes the basketball better than any point guard I have seen this year. Boy or girl, she'll get it up the court and get rid of it. And we said Paul Rooney wasn't in any undue pressure. It certainly didn't look like Bobby Young felt any pressure in his comments either.
Well, head coach Paul Rooney for Bishop England has a great team. He's got Caitlin Grisillo, who we just talked about, but Caitlin gets a lot of help, especially from Michelle Boykin, a very talented sophomore who had a great game in the lower state championship in Florence a week ago.
Absolutely, and inside, Mary Harriet Moore. She is solid as they come in the low post, and she knows her role. Kind of like what we talked about in the 1A girls game this morning. They know their role, and they certainly have the right attitude coming into today's game.
Well, let's introduce the third member of our broadcast team here today. That's John Vierstieg, who is courtside. John, what do you have?
Well, guys, you talked about the state titles for head coach Bobby Young of Columbia, as Columbia has been here 11 times from 1994 to 2004. For Bishop England, of course, we talked about it, the perfect season, 27-0. They're looking to complete that today, but of the 100 state titles, they're looking for their first in girls basketball, so certainly would be historic if the Battling Bishops were able to pull it off today.
All right, thanks so much, John. We are moments away from tip-off here in this Class 2A Girls State Basketball Championship from the Colonial Life Arena in the capital city of Columbia. So glad that you could join us here on the South Carolina High School League Network. We've got the Battling Bishops of Bishop England, 27-0, set to take on the 23-4 Capitals of Columbia High School. We've got it all for you here on the South Carolina High School League Network. So glad that you could tune us in. Keep it right here. We've got all the exciting action, including the tip-off, when we return to Columbia on the SCHSL Network.
This is number 3. Look at the flip pass. Here comes Lee. Lee, one-on-one. Fire, scores. From the acute angle. David Frazier. Championship point, Del Toro. That's it. Hillcrest wins. It is Sanders. Sanders pulling away, showing his speed.
For all the best in South Carolina High School League Championship action, both live and on demand, your destination is SCHSL.TV.
We can get a player up here.
Ah, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the SCHSL network, go to schsl.tv/SBP.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
Come at you. One shot.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming.
And a lovely rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. We've got talent on the court and away from it here in the state of South Carolina. Alan Smothers, and we're just moments away from tip-off. And what I love that the South Carolina High School League does is they invite a member of the student body from one of the schools competing to have someone come down and sing the national anthem.
Well, the two last night were absolutely fabulous, and that young lady was terrific. And I said before we came on, and they caught the end of my comments there, that it's sung the way it's supposed to be sung. She did a fabulous job.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll take it courtside as the public address announcer here at the Colonial Life Arena will make the player introductions for us.
Collection of the upper state champions, the Columbia High School Lady Capitals. At a guard position of 5'5", senior number 3, Dorothy Brown. Playing the second guard position of 5'7", senior number 11, Alexis Falk. Playing the third guard position of 5'6", senior number 20, Norisha Victram. At 1-4 position of 5'8", sophomore number 23, Yashi Johnson. Playing the other fourth position of 5'7", junior number 25, Jaria Myers. The head coach of the Lady Capitals is Bobby Young, assisted by James Kelly, A.J. Smith, and Tracy Adams. Their opponents from Daniel Island, South Carolina, Charleston County, respectively, wearing the home white uniforms with Kelly green trim with a perfect record of 27-0. They are champions and representatives of Region 6 Class 2A, the lower state champion, Bishop England High School Lady Bishops. At a guard position of 5'5", senior number 5, Caitlin Grasillo. Playing the other guard position of 5'8", senior number 12, Amber Corbett. Playing the third guard position of 5'8", sophomore number 23, Michelle Boykin. At center position of 6'1", sophomore number 32, Mary Harriet Moore. Playing the fourth position of 5'9", junior number 20, Mia Kiernan. The head coach of the Lady Bishops is Paul Rooney, assisted by Jules Schwerin, Karen Searson, Bobby Collier, and Laura Marquardt.
All right, we are ready to get it on here from Columbia, South Carolina, and the Colonial Life Arena. This is the Class 2A Girls State Championship. Alan, this is going to be fun.
The Lady Bishops coming in off a semifinal win over Lake City, 61-50, and the Columbia Lady Caps here for the 11th time, as John said, the 9th time under Bobby Young, beat Keenan last Saturday, 43-36 to reach the state championship.
Our officials for this 2A championship game, our referee is Carol Bodie, Eddie Price, and Esau Johnson are your umpires, and we are ready for tip-off. Mary Harriet Moore controls the tip for Bishop England. Bishop England moving left to right. They are in the all-white uniforms with the Kelly Green trim, the Kelly Green numerals and letters. The Columbia Capitals, they're your visitors today. They are in the maroon jerseys with the yellow and white trim, yellow and white numerals and letters. That's Caitlin Grasillo on the handle, the all-state point guard. Our spotlight player for Bishop England from Daniel Island, South Carolina, down in Charleston County. And the Columbia Capitals, essentially the home team, even though they're the visitors here. I mean, they're just right across the Saluda River from downtown Columbia in Richland County School District 1. But I'll tell you, a lot of fans came up from Daniel Island.
Quick 5-second closely guarded violation called by Carol Bodie. And the Columbia Caps control the basketball for the first time.
Here comes Michelle Boykin on the fast break, going for the layup, denied, and Columbia back on the move offensively. As Norisha Victram, our spotlight player for the Capitals, can't find her shot to fall. Mad dash on the floor. It's going to be a tie-up.
She's covering it up like it was a fumble. I like that. She didn't call timeout, though. Remember I said that last Saturday night when we were calling the game. No need to call a timeout early in the ball game to save possession. They're going to get it anyway on the alternating, and you save the timeout for later in the ball game. Smart move by the Lady Caps right there.
Marisha Victrom, there she is, number 20. Right side of your screen. Is going to pass off over to Alexis Folks, the sophomore. The long shot launched, missing the target, and here comes Grasillo, leading her battling Bishops into the front court. There's Boykin, had a huge game a week ago, scored over 20 points in the lower state championship. She's going to hand off to Amber Corbett. Boykin trying to feed Mary Harriet Moore in the low post. And taken away by Columbia, Dorothy Brown, the 5'5 senior, getting her paw in there to swipe it away. Driving now is Alexis Folks. She's going to lose the handle in the paint. And it's going to be Bishop England basketball.
You can tell Bobby Young has done his homework on this Bishop England basketball team. They want to get it inside to Mary Harriet Moore, who can operate in the low post about as good as any of them, averaging over 12 points and 7 rebounds a game. She's got a wide body, and she's able to take up a lot of space in there, as well as operate with the ball once she gets it in her hands.
Grasillo now swings it over right side. Boykin's going to drive. Boykin puts up a shot, pulls the string, a little short, but she drew the foul. Michelle Boykin, she is only a sophomore, 5'8", averages 14 points a game. As you see that shot right there, just a little short, fighting for a rebound, and she draws the foul. Looks like Juria Myers, the 5'7 junior, number 25, initiating the contact, and Boykin knocks down the first, and we have our first point of this ball game with 6 minutes rather, left to play in the first.
I like what Coach Rooney is doing with Mary Harriet. On the last couple of possessions, he's had her in the high post, which has opened up the dribble drive along the baseline.
Victrom passes over the timeline to Myers. Myers loses the handle, but Victrom is right there as the safety valve. Grasillo checking Victrom. Three-pointer launched. Misses the mark. Dorothy Brown with a follow-through. Can't find the basket. Cleared away to Boykin, who will bring it into front court for Bishop England. Pass to Corbett is a little bit too tall, and it's a turnover going to Columbia.
Lady Bishops need to get that ball in the hands of Caitlin Grasillo when they come up court. Caitlin Grasillo is able to distribute the basketball better than most of the other Lady Caps, or Lady Bishops, I should say.
There's a nice little baseline drive by Dorothy Brown to put Columbia on the board, and we're tied at 2. As Grasillo on the handle here, right to left dribble. Now she's working her way to the top of your screen. Now driving baseline, Grasillo can't get the friendly roll. Rebound's going to be fought for, collected by Grasillo. Grasillo has her pass taken away. Victrom with the steal for Columbia. Marisha Victrom, the All-State player, averaging 16 points a game. She's going to launch a long three. Splashes out, and Mary Harriet Moore is there on the carom for Bishop England.
A little bit outside of Marisha's range there, and the Bishops are going to turn it over and back. But on that last possession, I like what Caitlin Grasillo did. She got up in there, she made the defense, make a decision, and make the move. And again, Marisha Victrom, top scorer on this team at 16 points. Dorothy Brown, who made the last bucket, averages 15 points a game.
And that pass from Juria Myers to Dorothy Brown sails out of bounds. And it will be Bishop England basketball here in a tie game 2 apiece.
Just like a wide receiver, if you take your eye on it, off of it just before it gets to you, you're going to miss it every time, and that's what Dorothy did. She looked away at the last second.
A little skip pass over to Boykin at the bottom of your screen from Grasillo. Boykin on the right-handed dribble will fire inside to Kiernan, and it's slapped away, and Victrom coming down the court, gets in and count it. And the +1 for Marisha Victrom as she drove in on Caitlin Grasillo, and Caitlin just could not get her feet squared. Count it.
I was going to say, that could have gone either way right there. Grasillo was retreating, but she had not established her position. You don't have to be stable or stationary, but you have to have established position on that part of the floor.
And the trifecta for Marisha Victrom, and the Lady Capitals have the lead now 5-2. Just over 4 minutes to play here in the first period. Corbett going into the paint, trying a little right-handed runner, and she will draw the contact. As you see Corbett going inside and committing the foul is Jaria Myers, and that is Jaria's first foul of this game. So Corbett is at the line, and she gets the friendly roll. Amber Corbett, the senior, 5'8", averaging 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 steals a game.
Tell why Jaria got that foul called on her. Even though she made very little contact, her arms were down. You got to stay straight up.
So the Capitals on the move with Alexis Folks relinquishing over to Victrum. Back to Folks. Folks is going to drive baseline, puts up a right-handed runner, and she's got it. Beautiful move to the basket by Folks.
Another baseline penetration by the Lady Caps, and wish I had some more flowery things to say like our friend Stacy Huff. Boy, I thought I had a good vocabulary, but he is a master of the spin.
Grasillo will shout out the rotation. She's being checked over there by Dorothy Brown at the top of the key. Now charging in as Michelle Boykin cannot find her shot. It's taken away by Columbia, and here comes Victrum on the move again. Victrum's going to spot one up from just inside the three-point line, and she drew the foul. That will be 2 shots. Let's take a look at this last transition. That's just good baseline work right there, going strong to the hoop.
She was determined.
Alexis Folks.
Absolutely, and I thought there was very little contact on that last shot as well by Narisha Victrum.
So Victrum at the line, but the Lady Capitals leading by 3, 7-4. Getting ready to check in over at the scorer's table is Ellie James, and she is quite the player coming off the bench for Bishop England.
Yeah, Paul Rooney's team goes very deep. He'll play 9 players minimum, and he has more in uniform today than I think they had last Saturday. Bringing them to Columbia to get the experience of playing in the state title game.
Ellie James, one of the top volleyball players in the state of South Carolina. Bishop England winning the volleyball state championship this year. And here comes Boykin. She'll feed over right side to Grasillo and back to Boykin, who's going to find Corbett underneath the basket. Her shot's knocked away, but Mary Harriet Moore is there. Or check that, that's Ellie James to gather in the rebound, and Boykin is going to fall to the hardwood, but she drew the contact.
Down to the final 3 minutes of the first quarter, and both teams still in the feel out the other team mode.
And you see Boykin working hard underneath, drew the contact, and she'll miss the first free throw attempt.
Yeah, that's a rarity for the Lady Bishops. They are a very, very good foul shooting team.
Boykin's second shot misses the mark as well. And the rebound will go out of bounds to the Capitals of Columbia High School. And we've got a substitution now for Columbia as Monique Woodson, the senior, will trot out onto the court. Here comes Victrum. She's being guarded by Grasillo, who goes for the steal, can't make it. Now driving in baseline, and count it! That's Dorothy Brown. Oh, baseline runners over there are working quite well for Columbia.
Birch, it seems like every game that we broadcast, we've had a featured player, but someone else has stepped up throughout the course of the game to lead their team to a state title or to the state title game. There's always complementary players, and Dorothy Brown is that today for the Lady Caps.
Here's Boykin getting help from Corbett. Now over to Grasillo, and Grasillo will rotate the offense. Corbett now is going to throw over to Boykin. Bottom of your screen. They'll try to work it inside to Ellie James in the low post. Not there. Columbia takes it away. That's Monique Woodson coming down with a loose ball, and she'll give off to Dorothy Brown. Now Victrum wants a three. Count it! Riksha Victrum with the 3 ball.
She is a 60% shooter from beyond the stripe on the year, so look for her to get rid of it a lot from the bonus field.
Boykin trying to answer on the other end. She can't find her shot to go. Corbett will put up a shot. No. Fighting for the rebound. Ellie James comes down with it for Bishop England.
I don't know if the Bishops have found themselves down by double digits many times this year.
Nice little shot there in the paint by Kiernan, Mia Kiernan, the 5'9" junior. And it's 14-6. Columbia leading by 8 here in the first period. Minute and a half to go. Capitals back on offense. They whip it around the perimeter. Dorothy Brown wants one. It splashes out. But the Capitals are there to gather the carom. Now Viktram. Over to Brown. Brown, foot on the line. She can't find it, but she gets her own rebound. And another chance here for Columbia, working hard on the offensive glass. And that one is snagged down by Boykin for Bishop England. Quickly up ahead to Ellie James. Right-handed runner is good. Beautiful look from Boykin to Ellie James.
That is how you draw it up on the blackboard. Textbook transition basketball by the Lady Bishops.
Columbia back on offense here as they'll whip it around the perimeter.
Birch, I don't think the Caps are taking advantage of their athleticism. They're throwing the ball and keeping it on the perimeter rather than the dribble penetration that was so successful early on.
Well, here comes Viktram. Viktram with a dribble drive. Puts up a floater, and she got it.
The teardrop. There you go. Get it into the lane. Get below the foul line. That'll open up things in the post, and I think that Columbia has the tougher post game right now, especially with Mary Harriet Moore on the bench.
Viktram showing us why the Class 2A coaches named her to the All-State team. Boykin is going to move in on Viktram, and then she'll hand off to Corbett, drifting to her left. Corbett's going to put up a little right-handed shot at the buzzer. No. So the first period comes to a close, and it's the Capitals of Columbia leading by 8, 16-8. This is the SCHSL Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some Breaks for Less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a 2-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Breaks for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 4-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Breaks for Less is the only way to stop.
Breaks for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol-whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
We're back in Columbia, South Carolina to start the second period here in the Class 2A Girls State Championships. Birch Antley and Alan Smothers with you, and John Vierstieg working courtside for us here on the SCHSL Network as Dorothy Brown draws the quick foul to get us underway here in the second.
Katie Corbett called for the foul. Coming in off the bench, she is a senior, 5'6". And she's trying to even out the size advantage by the Caps on the perimeter.
Here's a shot by Brown, a little short, but the rebound is there for Columbia and Alexis Foltz. Her putback, no, but there it is. A nice stick back by Jeria Myers. The 5'7" junior for Columbia. They extend the lead now to double digits. It's 18-10.
Yeah, Mary Harriet Moore back in, and Ellie James also a 6-footer in the ball game. They're trying to match the Caps' size, both inside and out.
Michelle Lucier in the game as well, the 34, the 5'6" junior for Bishop England. There's a whistle and a foul underneath the Bishop England basket. And that should send Mary Harriet Moore to the line. And Victrum whistled for the infraction. Brasillo and Corbett, Amber Corbett, set to check back in after this free throw.
The Upper State Finals were quite the matchup of state championship programs. Keenan and Columbia right here in the capital city went up to Greenville to play for the Upper State Championship, and whoever was going to play here in the CLA was coming for multiple championships on their resume.
Mary Harriet Moore knocks down both shots, and now the Capitals back on offense. Dorothy Brown launches one just inside the three-point line, fighting for the rebound. Going up hard is Myers. She can't find it to drop. And we got a whistle, and I think that might be a foul on Mary Harriet Moore for Bishop England. No, actually, it's going the other way.
Yeah, and Birch, last week we saw Mary Harriet Moore. She moved her feet. She was inside the other team for position on the rebounds 9 times out of 10. Here today, she is being out positioned, and that's what rebounding is all about, effort and positioning.
Corbett slingshots it over to Brasillo, who pushes it out. Now to Mary Harriet Moore, who's come out along the perimeter. Boykin will drive in, and nice shot by Ellie James. Just a high arcing shot that finds the bottom of the net. 6.5 minutes left in the half, and Columbia still leading by double digits. It's a 10-point Capital advantage.
That was Victrum. Second mid-range jumper by Ellie James, matches her season average at 4 points.
There's Victrum drifting left. Now she'll push it right side. Now Folks, bottom of your screen, inside to Myers. Myers will dig it out. Brasillo fighting her for it. It's a jump ball situation, and that's going to Bishop England.
Oh, that's right, at the quarter. That's right, the Caps had the ball at the quarter. And Mary Harriet Moore has impeccable timing, and you can tell, being a point guard, she knows when to give up the basketball and when to reach in to try to steal.
And she's a 3-year starter for Paul Rooney. Started as a sophomore, running point for Bishop England. Boykin will cough it up, and then a traveling violation called on Victrum as she was trying to sprint down the near sideline. She just got a little bit too high on that dribble for her to handle.
This is a much more physical game this week than the lower state final game was against Lake City, and I think the Capitals have come in here to send a message that they're going to play a team that is not used to being bodied around a little bit more physically, and see if they're able to handle it early on.
Now you see head coach Bobby Young in his 38th year over at Columbia High School, talking to his players. A lot of experience on the bench for both of these teams. Paul Rooney, there you see the head coach for Bishop England. He's been in the business for a long time, 29 years. Paul Rooney has also coached the boys program down at Bishop England, out of Charleston, South Carolina. Daniel Island, to be precise. And both teams here in the capital city playing for a state championship.
You know, when I coached, the Bishop England team always had great squads, but was located downtown in Charleston, and you told me last week that they moved out to Daniel Island, what, 6-8 years ago?
Exactly. As Mary Harriet Moore cannot find the jumper, and the rebound tracked down by Columbia. Here's Dorothy Brown. She's had a heck of a first half. So has Victrum. Victrum being shaded by Brasillo. Victrum trying to pick up the screen. And now Folks will move in. Brown circling to her right. 5:22 on the clock here in the half. Folks wants the jumper. Too short. And the rebound hauled away by Jeria Myers, the 5'7" junior for Columbia.
A lot of bodies banging into one another in the paint.
This is a very physical game.
Very physical, and again, I think that's going to take its toll on the Lady Bishops later in the ball game.
Victrum pushes a little bounce pass over to Folks. She can't find the shot, and rebound is corralled over there in the corner by Grasillo. Grasillo, Corbett wide open, puts up a jumper off the left rim, out of bounds to the Capitals.
Mary Harriet Moore did have inside positioning that time, but was unable to get her mitts on it. She did touch it last and give it to Columbia, but I think this is the speed that Columbia wants the game at, a slower pace. The Lady Bishops, even though they don't have a lot of run jump athletes, they do like to play at a high pace, as Caitlin Grasillo is able to get the ball up the floor in a hurry, and I think the Capitals would rather play a half-court game.
Well, one thing about Grasillo, she's got great vision.
Yep.
As you see Paul Rooney looking on from that Bishop England bench. But Grasillo, great vision, great timing as well. She just always seems to know where that ball is going to be.
And they move it so well. We noted that last week.
Mary Harriet Moore driving in, but the rebound is there for Bishop England. Corbett cannot find the shot to fall, and it's going to be Columbia basketball. You know, Bishop England, they're getting some good looks here. Alan, they just can't seem to get that friendly roll.
I was going to say, it seems like the physicalness of the game is maybe unnerving the Lady Bishops a little bit. Last week, all of those point-blank shots or mid-range jumpers were going down for them against Lake City.
Here's Monique Woodson, the senior, number 13 for Columbia. Now Dorothy Brown, who averages 15 points a game. She's poured in some buckets here today.
Columbia running a little double stack, high post offense. And again, they want it to be methodical pace. And they know eventually they're going to be able to get the ball inside and get a bucket or a foul. And Narisha Victram is as good as they come at getting it up to the basket.
Yeah, Victram just excellent in transition, especially when she is penetrating. And we've seen Dorothy Brown with those baseline runners. So that's, you know, Columbia's game. That's what they want to do, as you say, Alan. They want to try to whip it around the perimeter and then find an open crease in the paint for a dribble drive for Victram or a baseline runner for Dorothy Brown. That shot bangs out. Rebound fought for, and Victram hustling hard over there, but she's out of bounds, and it will be Bishop England basketball. But boy, how about the hustle there for Victram?
Yeah, little smile on her face, gave the referee some props. She thought she got bumped out of bounds, as did I, but...
And Alan, you've always said that a lot of coaches, as Boykin goes in hard, can't find it. You've always said that coaches will track hustle plays.
Absolutely they will. And Narisha Victram is biggest hustler on the floor right now.
And a deadly jumper there for Victram from about 10 feet away. And it's 21-12 now, Columbia, with 3.5 minutes, just under 3.5 to play here in the half. Checking into the game, Megan Latore, the senior for Bishop England. Now Mary Harriet Moore moved that pivot foot, and she's going to be called for a violation.
And I'll bet you Paul Rooney, as you see the stop and pop by Narisha Victram, I'm sure Paul Rooney would rather they move the ball with a pass around the perimeter rather than putting it on the floor. We noticed last week how the ball went pop, pop, pop around the top of the key from one side to the other, but today it's going pop, dribble, pop.
Here's Victram, she wants a three. Short off the iron, but Myers gets the rebound. She can't find it to fall. And travel called on Bishop England after they were trying to track down the loose ball after the miss by Jeria Myers. So the Capitals will maintain possession here with 2:48. Myers will inbounds. Finds Narisha Victram, who's being checked by Boykin now.
See how she's not forcing the offense. She's not getting it up there in a hurry. Just she wants it back, but she'll stop it.
Trying to go with a little no-look pass behind the right hip and take it away by Bishop England. Over to Ellie James, cross court, and her pass is intercepted by Dorothy Brown. Brown picks up the screen and will come near sideline.
Slow it down.
Now Brown's going to go in baseline. And Brown drew the contact. I believe that was Ellie James that just did not establish position.
Caitlin Grasillo was called for the foul. And Boy, that's going to be tough for Paul Rooney.
Nick Vasillo's going to have to sit down.
Yeah, he's going to have to sit his trigger person down. And I'm telling you, the Lady Caps are running Bobby Young's offense and his game plan to a T right now. Don't force anything. Quick shots like that, I'll bet you are not in his game plan. That was a tough one, but they get a break by getting the offensive carom.
She Johnson with the rebound, number 23, the 5'8" sophomore for Columbia.
No quick shots for the Lady Caps.
Now Monique Woodson on the handle, and she gives it right back to Victram. We'll rotate over to Dorothy Brown. Brown's going to drive in, doesn't have the shot, and will kick it back outside. Minute 40 left on the clock here in the first half. Victram wants a straightaway three. Too strong off the glass. Rebound is there for Columbia. Yashi Johnson, and she draws the contact, so the 5'8" sophomore will go to the free throw line.
First word out of Paul Rooney's mouth at halftime, I guarantee you, will be rebound, rebound, rebound. Move your feet, get inside, especially on the defensive end, to establish your position. If the long rebound comes off to the other team, so be it. But we're getting beat underneath the cylinder. That is unforgivable.
See Johnson missing the first free throw. She's shooting right into that Bishop England student body. And she misses the second, but the rebound is there for Columbia and Folks. Now there's a battle for it. And Ellie James clears it away to Boykin. How about that play for Ellie James? Now Boykin driving in, drops it, and put her on the line. The sophomore Michelle Boykin with an answer for Bishop England. And Ellie James got that play started.
How about the stutter step right here and then the swing through?
Shielded her body as she went up with a right-handed finger roll. And she completes the trifecta.
Net snapper.
21-15. Capitals leading. Just over a minute to play here in the half. As Victram directs her offense.
Again, she's going to hold it. They'll take the final shot if they can.
Saul Folks glance up at the clock. Check the time. Now there's a takeaway. Here comes Boykin. Boykin, coast to coast. Left-hander is good. Michelle Boykin had a career game a week ago, and she's starting to get revved up right now.
And if they correct their rebounding problems, this is going to be a tight game down to the very end. It felt like a Columbia runaway early on. And the slow pace will keep the Bishops in the ball game.
Boykin checking Victram, a sophomore on a senior. Victram an all-state selection. Victram going to drive in, blocked away by Mira Harriet Moore. Now quickly up ahead to Boykin. Boykin right-hander, no, fighting for her own rebound and is knocked out of bounds to Columbia. And trailing on the plate, Yashi Johnson, the sophomore for Columbia, really disrupted that shot on the breakaway for Michelle Boykin.
Very hard to blow a team out with a half-court offense.
21-17, 17 seconds.
What it does is it wears down the defensive unit.
12 seconds now. Victram picks up the screen. Victram launches a three off the mark, out of bounds. Will stop the clock at 5 seconds. So a chance here for the Bishops to score going into halftime, and that will be a huge momentum boost for the battling Bishops. Boykin's going to take it in. Boykin left-handed dribble, and the buzzer sounds before Mary Harriet Moore could get the shot off. So Columbia leads 21-17. Allen, it's a 4-point game, but at one time, Columbia owned a double-digit advantage.
Yeah, they were up 10 at one point, and a great comeback by Bishop England.
As the Bishops closed it in, let's go down courtside where John is standing by. John, what do you have?
We're here with head coach Bobby Young. And coach, you look at Narisha Vickers and what she's been able to do with 12 points. What do you guys need to do to maintain the lead in the second half?
Well, we got to continue doing what we were doing. We kind of lost our focus toward the end right there and turned the ball over several times. And they were like unforced turnovers. We got to guard the ball, we got to move the ball, and we got to look for a good high percentage shots.
Do you take a look at what they did in the first 5 minutes or so of the game, holding Bishop England to just a couple chances at the free throw line? Is that how you have to be successful on the defensive side?
Yes, but that's not going to hold throughout the game. We're going to have to change our defense in the second half and try something else because they are beginning now to kind of get used to what we are doing. So we will change some in the second half. bad.
All right, we thank head coach Bobby Young. That's his story. We'll send it back over to Birch and Allen.
All right, thanks so much, John. Your score as we head into halftime, 21-17. This is the SCHSL Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some Breaks for Less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a two-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Breaks for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 four-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Breaks for Less is the only way to stop.
Breaks for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
And welcome back to Columbia in the Colonial Life Arena as we're in the halftime of the 2A Girls State Basketball Championship. Birch Antley, Alan Smothers with you. And right now Columbia leading by 4, but at one time they had a double-digit lead. But the battling Bishops of Bishop England came battling right back.
Well, you had Caitlin Grasillo get in a little bit of foul trouble early on, had to sit down for a couple of minutes, but late in the ball game, they started to settle down a bit, got into the flow a little more, and then the Capitals slowed things down. And Bobby Young's offense started, going a little stagnant and didn't get the good shots up down inside like they were used to early on.
All right, let's go courtside where John Veerstag is standing by with some special guests. John.
All right, we're here with Shaniqua Coles from Columbia High School, Michael Bolches from Bishop England. We'll start with Miss Coles, too, from Columbia High School. Tell me, first of all, how proud are you guys to be back here in the state championship in your own backyard?
Words can't describe how happy we are. We had a hard game last weekend with Keenan, and we lost to him last year, so we were glad to be victorious this year. It's been a great time to be at Capitol. Our community is behind us. You see our fans out here. We got fans over here. We got fans here, and we've just been excited. The community has been great, and Richland won our district. Everybody has been supportive, and so we're real excited.
Well, and I'm sure it's easier on your end. You don't really have to promote it all that much because everyone knows that it's only a short drive up here to CLA.
That's right. It's a short drive to here for this game, and then for us to be the Columbia Capitals here in Columbia, it makes it even greater.
All right, we thank you so much.
Thank you.
And here with Michael Bolches from Bishop England. And Michael, certainly you have to talk about how easy it's been for you to be the principal of a program with such a storied athletic history. First of all, how easy is it for you from that standpoint?
I don't know if it's ever easy to be the principal, but from an athletic standpoint, the success has been fantastic. First championship in football, this would be fantastic. Obviously, ladies basketball, first ever. A great group of seniors, 4 girls, Megan Latore and Katie Corbett, Amber Corbett, Caitlin Grasillo. Their families have been involved at Bishop England since 1915. Wow. They're a core group of seniors, and they've been together since 3rd grade. Good students, good kids in the school, that whole program. For Paul Rooney, he's given his life to Bishop England. It would be awesome for a team of his to win state. So
let me ask you this, as someone, and very quickly, as someone who knows about the history here at Bishop England, to see your kids out there, they're all kids from all sorts of different athletic programs. Probably didn't really have to say much to get the kids to come out and support their fellow teammates.
No, the feeder system to Bishop England is fantastic. These kids have known each other around Charleston since they were born. So we traveled well. Got a great student section down under the basket there. So not hard at all.
All right, we thank Michael Buckles and Shaniko Coles from Bishop England and Columbia. Let's turn it back over to Birch and Allen.
All right, thanks so much, John. Great job, as always. We're at halftime here at the Colonial Life Arena. Right now, Columbia leads by 4. Don't go away. We've got more action when we return to the Colonial Life Arena here on the South Carolina High School League Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some Breaks for Less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a 2-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Breaks for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 4-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Brakes for Less is the only way to stop.
Brakes for Less, 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
Welcome back to Columbia in the Colonial Life Arena, and let's take a look at some highlights, if we can, from the first half as Columbia leads at 21-17. Allen, here's Columbia.
Well, of course, Dorothy Brown got things started inside and out, and then Norisha Victram came alive as she leads all scorers in the first half. Caitlin Grasillo got a lot of help from Michelle Boykin and Mia Kiernan. Nice drive. Michelle Boykin leads her team in scoring with 7 points. That's halfway to her average. And those shots right there were going down a lot for them last week. Not so much today. They're going to need to get that to go more often.
Yeah, leading all scorers, as you said, is Victram with 13. And now our stats through the first half, if you look at the turnovers, pretty much even, 7 and 9. 7 for Columbia, Bishop England with 9. We'll be right back to Columbia after this here on the SC HSL Network.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today. My name is Paul. I work for Time Warner Cable as a network engineer. Working with Connect a Million Minds, I've gotten to see how the minds of a lot of young people work. It's watching the light bulb come on, and you really understand that child just had a spark go off, and you helped create that spark.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
We're back in Columbia, ready for the second half. Columbia leading Bishop England 21-17. We'll switch sides of the court. So Columbia working left to right now. Columbia in the maroon, the yellow and white trim. Bishop England in the white, and a big bucket there by Dorothy Brown.
Just like the first half, she comes out and nails her first shot.
Now Grasillo goes to work for Bishop England. She'll swing it over right side to Boykin. Now Corbett circling left. Back over to Corbett. They'll work it in the low post to Mary Harriet Moore, and there's Viktram to take it away. Viktram snags that pass away, and she'll push it ahead quickly down to Folks. Viktram with 13 big points in the first half, also collected 2 rebounds. Brown with 5 points. She's got 7 now after hitting the first bucket of the second half. Brown kind of bottled up over there, and she'll slingshot it over to Viktram.
This Lady Caps team is very well coached. 2 high posts. You got your runner along the baseline that'll open up for the threes in the corners. You know, Bobby Young's team is just well coached and runs the offense almost to perfection.
Here's a look at Paul Rooney, the head coach for Bishop England. Now Corbett pushes it out to Grasillo. Grasillo over to Corbett. Corbett wants a 3. Not there. Rebound is hauled away by Boykin, and she manages to stay in bounds. Now Mary Harriet Moore puts it on the floor, kicks it back out to Grasillo. Boykin, nice little ball fake there, puts up the shot, and she draws the contact. Foul is going to be committed by Dorothy Brown, the 5'5" senior for Columbia, number 3. And that is her first foul, I do believe, of the ballgame.
Boykin, top offensive player for Bishop England today for the Lady Bishops. She drew that foul with the ball fake on the first shot and then the one dribble because she had Dorothy Brown come flying at her off of the ball fake, and by the time she put it on the floor, Brown was off balance trying to catch herself and right into Michelle Boykin, who is a 65% foul shooter at the line.
Boykin has 9 points now as she drops in both free throws. And it's 23-19, back to a 4-point Columbia lead. We're just underway here in the second half. Viktram, all-state player.
Looking for a high percentage shot here. That's what this offense does. It's just very deliberate.
Almost knocked away by Bishop England, but Viktram is able to gather it in. Nice little bounce pass over to Folks, who's bottled up on the far sideline. Now Dorothy Brown thought about the shot. Didn't want it. Now over Folks. Folks is going to drive baseline, and she has her shot knocked away by either Corbett or Mary Harriet Moore. I believe she may have drawn the contact.
Illustrative of what that offense is trying to do. She had an open jump shot at the top of the key, but instead hit the baseline driver who got one from closer in. Very high percentage shot.
Excellent jumper there by Dorothy Brown. And Brown has 9 points now.
Dorothy's come to play.
Boykin. Left-handed dribble, now drives in right side. And she is going to be fouled. Here's another look at this little jumper here by Dorothy Brown. Good ball fake there.
Perfect ball fake. Got the defender off her feet, and then she ducked underneath for a 14-footer. And the mid-range game is what every young player needs to work on. Eschew those three-point shots and dunks. Work on your mid-range game. That's a lost art.
And Boykin now in double digits. Tell you, Alan, you brought the thesaurus out today as well. Eschew.
Eschew. I use that term a lot on my show. I have to explain it to my audience sometimes, though.
Viktram back on offense here for Columbia. It's a 5-point capital advantage here in the third period. Nice work inside, but she's going to be whistled for a travel. Yashi Johnson, the sophomore, just moved that pivot foot just enough.
Yeah,
official right there.
That was the official was right on top of that one. She certainly shuffled both feet at the same time, trying to gather herself to make a move.
Nice bounce pass over to Mary Harriet Moore, and she feeds back over to Grasillo. Moore with a little ball fake. Grasillo the same. Grasillo goes in baseline, and she is going to be fouled by Jaria Myers. I believe that is Myers' second. Now they're going to call her for the charge.
Offensive foul, and that's going to hurt Paul Rooney's team because he's going to have to sub for her now. That's her third foul, or fourth. That's her fourth foul.
That's big. Her fourth?
Yeah, early in the third quarter, that is. And that's another example of what I was talking about in the first half, is you don't have to be stationary, because Jaria Myers was not stationary, but she had established her pivot inside and got run into. She did not establish, or she did not.
Oh, beautiful jumper there by Dorothy Brown from downtown, near sideline. Boy, Dorothy Brown's got a silky smooth shot.
I was going to say Jaria Myers did not initiate the contact. She was in that position already.
Good steal by Folks over on the far side. She jumped that passing lane. And now Folks just inside the three-point line. Shot is not there, but Columbia is right there on the offensive glass, Alan. They are really dominating position for these rebounds, as the shot by Johnson is no good, as she's whistled for a travel.
Yeah, Yashi is only a sophomore, and she'll learn that, you know, they do notice when you either change pivot feet or you just gather yourself. Young players don't understand that when you gather yourself, you are moving your feet whether you realize it or not. We got a 30-second timeout with Coach Paul Rooney.
Yeah, the Bishops one time here with 4 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the third period. It's a 7-point Columbia lead now. They had a 4-point lead at the break, but at one point in time in the first half, Columbia led by as many as 10. The Bishops rallied back. Let's listen in on Paul Rooney's huddle.
One wheel. Rachel's on three. 1, 2, 3.
The Bishop England battling Bishops, trying to keep this perfect season, this perfect record, 27-0, alive here in the state championship.
You mentioned before, Birch, that Paul Rooney has coached the boys teams before at Bishop England, but I think he has the perfect temperament and disposition to coach girls. He never gets too excited, doesn't get angry and scream and anything. He's just got a very pleasant disposition.
3 minutes, 58 seconds remaining, and Corbett draws the contact that you see here, charging into the baseline, and so Amber Corbett will go to the free throw line.
And I understand that the college game is different as well. Coaching at college, I've seen many women's coach, women who coach women. I've seen the ladies get on their teams like crazy.
Well, we checked in with Coach Young and asked him what's so special about this year's Columbia Capitals. Here's what he had to say.
It's special simply because they have come from so far back to so far up. They have come a long ways. When we first started out, we had no niche. We didn't have no identity. We didn't have anything that we could really build on other than a couple of players who had been there for a couple of 3 years. We had no, we started out with a JV program, but we had to dismantle the program and move some of the girls up to the varsity because we had kids moving in and moving out. They were going down from injuries and so forth. And we just had to regroup, start all over. And I'm real proud of this group. They have come a long ways, and they have surprised me. I had no idea that we would get this far. But it shows you that when you put God in front, work hard, and persevere, good things will happen.
There you have it, Coach Bobby Young saying, Alan, that basically we had to tear the house down and build a new one.
You ever heard the old saying that teams kind of take the identity of their coach? Now we know why the Lady Caps are so deliberate. Because Bobby Young and his deliberate speech, and that they are certainly taking on that identity.
And he is a legendary coach here in South Carolina, 38 years on the sidelines. 4 state championships, going for a handful here today. His ladies leading 27-22.
You know, the last game, in the 1A boys game, we had John Smith win his 8th state championship in 18 appearances in the state title game. And now we've got Bobby Young going for his 5th in his 9th appearance. I coached for 15 years with Dan D'Antoni at Socastee High School, who coached at Socastee 30 years, and we made but 1 appearance in the state championship. What a shot!
Big 3 by Amber Corbett, knocking it down to pull the Bishops to within 2 now.
And that was silky smooth. That shot, the 48% three-point shooter, Amber Corbett. I'd feed her in the bonus sphere more often.
Victrum bottled up. They'll kick it out to Brown. Brown is going to draw a contact. And, you know, Allen, it seems, oh, look at that beautiful display of sportsmanship. That is what it is all about. That is sportsmanship right there.
Personified, no question.
That is Victrum, a senior. She got an elbow in on Michelle Boykin. Boykin looks like she may have some blood coming from her nose, and Victrum is going to escort her over to the sidelines so she can get some help. I mean, that is class. That is sportsmanship. Take a lesson, everybody out there, from that young lady right there, Nerisha Victrum.
You know what? That is the reason what Jerome Singleton talked about earlier today in our 1A game, the sportsmanship of these teams, especially these young ladies. That's taught by Bobby Young right there. And Nerisha Victrum, she is a first-class individual. She helped Michelle Boykin over to the sideline and held her hand down so if any of the blood came out that it wouldn't drip on the floor, and she, without regard for her own safety.
Yeah, that when you see things like that, it just gives you chills. And hats off to Nerisha Victrum. State championship, and that is a state championship play right there that has no impact on the scoreboard. Now back to live action is Dorothy Brown, left-handed dribble. Fight for it. This has been a physical game, but it's been a clean game.
Yeah, there hasn't been any untoward physicality in this game whatsoever. It's just been a very hard-played ball game, which as a coach you love to see. And talking about these coaches, Paul Rooney's making his first appearance. His team's 27-0, but you love it when somebody's been there many, many times and won state titles, because you know how hard it is to get there, but boy, it sure is nice to get that first one.
Indeed it is. Here comes Lucier down the court for Bishop England. Now they'll sling it over to Corbett, trying to work it inside to Ellie James. She hangs on, pushes it back out to Lucier. Her shot not there, and Victrum climbs down with the rebound. Now ahead to Folks. Folks has it, right-handed runner. Excellent play by Alexis Folks on the feed from Nerisha Victrum.
Her first bucket of the afternoon. If she gets involved, could be a long second half for the Lady Bishops, who turn it right back over. They had cut the lead to 4. Well, that's where we are right now, so they actually cut the lead to 2, and Columbia is now making a little pushback.
Now Victrum on the handle. She's being checked by Corbett. Rosillo is on the bench with 4 fouls right now for Bishop England. Their all-state point guard. Latore is in the game now, shading on Victrum, and Latore is going to get a hand check in on Victrum. Remember, for both live streaming and on-demand coverage of all the South Carolina High School League championships, be sure to log on to SCHSL.tv. The SCHSL network not only covers the football and basketball championships, but boys and girls finals across all sports and all seasons. That's the SCHSL network, SCHSL.tv. Victrum's three-pointer is not there, and Bishop England swipes away the rebound. Amber Corbett looking for some help, gets it over to Katie Corbett. Now long-range 3 for Corbett. No, Mary Harriet Moore can't find her shot to fall, and it's out of bounds to Bishop England.
I like how everything is sort of explained out around here for us. SCHSL.tv. Outside, our production truck is TV Truck. TV. It's real easy to understand for me, but you got to get it down to my level.
Minute 33 remaining as Ellie James will draw a foul. As I said, Ellie James, one of the top volleyball players in the state of South Carolina. It's been a great athletic year for Bishop England. We talked about in the open.
Boy, it has.
That they've had 100 championships in school history. Just this season, they won the volleyball state championship, football state championship for the first time ever in school history. And now going for a state championship for the first time in school history in girls basketball. She pulls the string on that one. The Bishops trail right now, though, by 3 to the Columbia Capitals. Here comes Victrum driving in. Nice little floater in the lane. Victrum, that is her forte right there, Alan.
Absolutely.
Cross-court pass to James, too tall. It will be Columbia basketball. When you get Narisha Victrum with just 1 second of space, she can really be deadly.
Yeah, but I know Paul Rooney's starting to get a little concerned here late in the third quarter. He's still not got his point guard, Caitlin Grasillo, on the floor, and that makes you more nervous. Grasillo shooting 65% from the floor, 75% from the line, but just her team leadership that you lose.
And Boykin, who is the leading scorer, still on the sidelines after that injury.
Yeah.
She's okay. She's just waiting to get back in, and Paul Rooney is doing the right thing as a head coach, looking out for the safety of his young sophomore. He does not want to get her back on the floor too early. So here is Dorothy Brown. A little short on the first free throw. Checking into the game now, Mia Kiernan. She'll take the place of Latore.
But as we said early, Rooney's team does go about 9 or 10 deep, so he feels confident with the girls he has in there. Dorothy Brown, only a 50% shooter at the line. And so she missed the first one. She should have made the second.
Corbett will pass over to Erin Artigas, who just checked in, number 24 for Bishop England. Now Mary Harriet Moore over to Ellie James. James spots up. High floater. She got it. Beautiful high arcing shot for Ellie James from 8 feet away on the right wing.
I was about to make the point that Bishop England should get a good shot on that trip because their spacing was good. Even though the Caps defense was terrific, the spacing was good by Bishop England, and they did get a good shot. Now they get a turnover and a chance to draw this back to a 2-point ball game.
As you see Bobby Young looking on, head coach over on that Columbia bench. So Erin Artigas, the sophomore, will deliver to Corbett. Artigas thought about the shot. Excellent ball movement. So trying to work it into Mary Harriet Moore in the low post.
Another well-coached team. As I talked about Bobby Young's team in the first half, the way they run that high post offense, well-coached. So is the Bishops, because there it is from downtown.
Corbett from the State House steps. Knocking down the three.
One of the hardest things to learn, not coach, but learn, is spacing. How important that is.
Three-point attempt there by Victrum. Misses and the buzzer sounds. We've got ourselves a ball game. It's just a 1-point advantage for Columbia. We've got the final stanza when we return to the Colonial Life Arena here in the 2A Girls State Championship. This is the SC HSL Network.
Tyler Ryan here with some breaks for less math. You know, some guys are going to give you a 2-wheel brake job. It's going to be about $200. At Brakes for Less, you get brakes on 4 wheels for $99. Let me add this up. A $99 4-wheel brake job is twice the work for half the money. That is the kind of math that just makes sense. Brakes for Less is the only way to stop.
Brakes for Less. 6 locations, including Irmo and Lexington. Ladies, come in on Wednesday and get 20% off. Call 254-STOP.
This is Regine. Her parents taught her about success and the power of a dream. Regine chose Virginia College for cosmetology and got the skills she needed to start her own client list. Today, Regine owns an award-winning hair salon and helps others realize the power of their dreams. Sometimes, success starts when the lessons that change you help you change the world. Virginia College, your success starts here. Call or visit vc.edu.
Unlike a bank, Safe Federal Credit Union never pistol whipped a hermit crab. Unlike a bank, Safe has defeated Chuck Norris in hand-to-beard combat. Almost. Unlike a bank, Safe smells like chocolate. But most importantly, Safe is not for profit and member-owned, so you get lower fees, better rates, more services, and you get to keep more of your money. Unlike a bank. Experience Safe Federal Credit Union, where my membership matters.
What excites me is the opportunity to take the skills I have and to give back to my community.
I care about sparking an interest in science, technology, engineering, and math with the children of today.
It's about stimulating innovation, even in children that don't think they like math or science.
So we get them hands-on, and it's like brains are going. I can almost guarantee you they're thinking way differently about science after we were done with them.
Time Warner Cable employees are inspiring the next generation of problem solvers. Visit connectamillionminds.com to find out what you can do.
We're back in Columbia, ready to start the fourth period of action. Bishop England trailing by 1 to the Capitals of Columbia. Birch Antley, Alan Smothers, John Biersteg with you, and now we are joined courtside by the commissioner of the South Carolina High School League, Mr. Jerome Singleton. Jerome, we always love you coming by and stopping by. And Jerome, I want to go ahead and get this out of the front. We always talk about sportsmanship with the South Carolina High School League. It is one of our top priorities. We saw the best example of sportsmanship here in the second half as Dorisha Victram for Columbia got an elbow in on Michelle Boykin for Bishop England. Blood was drawn, and Dorisha Victram escorts her opponent over to her opponent's sideline so she can get some medical treatment. Gave me chills.
Truly, that's what we're all about. It was fantastic to see that opportunity occur for itself. We met this past Monday, had a press conference, and we talked about those exact same things. You know, play the game as hard as you can, play as fiercely as you can, but recognize that it's just a game. I've told them that they're all ambassadors for the state of South Carolina when it comes to athletics, and I asked them to present themselves one more time for us this weekend, and because they've done it all season, and I'm really proud of them.
We're talking with Jerome Singleton, the commissioner of the South Carolina High School League, and Jerome, I'll tell you, this has been a physical game, but it's been a clean game, a very well-called game, and hats off to Bruce Hullion and his officials. We have some of the greatest officials in South Carolina.
Absolutely. Very proud of them. Actually, we've got Skip Blacksess in charge of basketball for us, but Bruce plays a big part for our officials. But they were very careful in selecting the group that we have. We feel very comfortable that this group can do it, and we've got many officials that actually didn't make the cut that could probably do just as good a job, but they're doing a fantastic job for us.
And I tell you, Jerome, the fans here at the Colonial Life Arena, they have been streaming in all day. It's been a great atmosphere from the tip-off of our first game on Friday night to this game here, and we'll continue into the 3A boys game this evening. And I tell you, it's been a wonderful atmosphere, and you know the economic impact that high school sports brings to the state of South Carolina. We're talking $500,000 to $600,000 just this weekend on an economic impact here in Columbia.
Oh, easily that. This year, for the first time in a long time, we've got 15 different schools that are coming here. 16 schools, of course, but 15 new teams that weren't here last year. So the community's out here supporting it, and it's an economic impact. I'm glad you brought that up because we got heads and beds, we got people in the restaurants, we got people in the service, in the gas station, and it has been a pleasure for us.
Here's that play right there, Jerome. As you see, I mean, that is the epitome of sportsmanship. Jerome, I think that's something that you want to show each and every year to the players coming up. You know, you help your opponent up, and even though you're fighting man against man, you're still always going to be friends.
Absolutely, and that's the big thing about it, because these people, although they compete against each other here, they may have to work together later in life. So that's the thing that we want them to understand. That it's a game, and the lessons that are being taught here are the ones that we're trying to get.
Yeah, some of those that you just can't get in the classroom.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, Jerome Singleton, thank you so much. Hats off again to you and your staff, everybody over the South Carolina High School League. This has been a wonderful event as always, and we're looking forward to more great basketball.
We got 3 games to follow, and if they all fall in line with these, we're going to have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Jerome Singleton, very much for joining us here on the SCHSL Network. Jerome Singleton, one of my favorite people in South Carolina. Always love visiting with him, and I tell you, he really does a great job promoting not only athletics, but academics. This game is really heating up here, Ellen. A 4-point Columbia lead, 5:17 left.
Yeah, Columbia just sprinted again with Dorisha Victram
And guess who's back? Michelle Boykin.
Yep. Now, those two were the two we were just talking about, and they are certainly the team leaders. The Lady Bishops had the ball first to begin the second half, though, and they immediately turned it over when they had the chance to take their first lead of the ball game. And I know Paul Rooney had to be disgusted.
Here's a three-pointer, misses the mark by Victrum, and Corbett, comes down with a rebound. Here's Boykin with a run. Boykin puts it up and in. Michelle Boykin goes to coast after coming off the bench following the injury, and we are tied 35-35. 5:36 left to play for a 2A state championship. Victrum going into the lane, can't find it. Rebound pulled away by Bishop England. Scrum on the floor. And it looks like we've got possession going to Columbia on the alternating.
And it seems like every time the Caps have needed her, she has produced in this ball game. Narisha Victrum, so expect her to get the call on this play.
15 points for Victrum, 12 for Brown, who's on the handle right now.
Boykin's doing a nice job keeping the ball out of the hands of Victrum.
First time this game has been tied since we tipped it off. Victrum.
See, she's trying to make something happen for herself.
Showing her ball handling skills, and Coach Bobby Young wants a timeout. And I tell you, Alan, we have seen some fantastic basketball. 35-35. We asked Coach Brown what he likes so much about coaching high school basketball here in South Carolina. This is what he told us.
We're not best, but I love coaching simply because it gives me a chance to work with young boys and girls. I work with boys too. Give them the chance that I wanted. Somebody gave me a chance. And I believe in the give back principle. Give it back to somebody else. Sport meant so much to me and still means a lot to me. So I want them to get the exhilaration and the thrill that I have received down through the years, because sports, like I said a few minutes ago, means so much to me, and I want them to get that same feeling. I want to influence them, be a part of their life.
We hear it each and every time we talk to those coaches while they are in this business, Alan.
Yeah, and guys that have been in it as long as Paul Rooney and Bobby Young and John Smith and so many of the coaches we've seen here today. I mean, it's not just a job. It's literally a labor of love. Indeed. Because if it wasn't, there's too much, garbage to deal with and teaching and coaching if you just don't love it and you don't love young people. Literally love them.
Our leading scorers so far, Victrum for Columbia. She's poured in 15 points. And for Bishop England, Boykin right behind her. She's got 14. And Victrum is at the line trying to pad her box score. Knocks down the first.
Again, Narisha Victrum, a 59% shooter at the line, but she delivers when her team needs her the most.
And especially in the big game.
Absolutely. I mean, she's not all state for nothing.
Columbia reclaims the lead now after the free throw. Trying to make it a 2-point lead, and they do.
You could almost just wrote it down. 2 free throws in the book. Narisha Victrum's at the line. The game's tied in the fourth quarter.
Grissillo is back on the court. Caitlin Grissillo, after sitting out the entire third period pretty much with 4 fouls. And Bishop England will turn it over to Columbia.
And that's where he so misses Caitlin Grissillo handling the basketball. She's back in the game, but she's off the ball now because she has 4 fouls.
Exactly. She has to really protect herself for picking up that 5th foul. Victrum on the right-handed dribble. She's being checked by Mia Kiernan. Now over to Dorothy Brown. She's had a well of a ball game herself. A ball fake to the left side. She's being shaded by Boykin. Now back to Victrum with 4:19 on the clock here in the 2A Girls State Championship. Over to Drea Myers.
I like this defense, the way Paul Rooney's running it. So it's kind of a box and one, but the one is chasing the ball, not a particular player.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a rotating man defense. You don't see the box and one as much as you used to.
So you got a player on the ball, and if the ball moves to the wing, you move the player out to the ball, and then you move someone back into the box. I mean, they're trying to keep the ball out of the lane.
On the spinning dribble is Viktram, weaving to her left. Now they'll work it far side with Dorothy Brown. Brown trying to go baseline, finds a wide open Alexis Folks, and that's what ball movement will do for you, Alan. It opens up those little spaces and the little opportunities inside with Alexis Folks.
You're right on target.
Corbett wants another three. Boom! Amber Corbett with her second big three bomb of the second half.
And I don't know that I've ever seen a single player on the course of a year shoot 48% from three-point distance, but that's her average.
Viktram, left side over to Myers. Grasillo is working on Myers. Grasillo going for the steal. She gets the tie-up. And it's possession, Bishop England. Watch this three-pointer. Boy, did she just get her shoulder square to the basket in a hurry, Alan. That's how you shoot long distance.
And if you can shoot off the pass, I mean, of course, that's the best shooters can shoot off.
Because it's one of the hardest things you can do.
Catch and shoot in the same motion is very difficult.
What do you think about this timeout being called right now by Paul Rooney?
It's a good timeout, even though you still have 2 minutes and 45 seconds. This is certainly not the end-all, be-all timeout in the ball game, but it's a chance for him to tell his girls, look, this is about the third opportunity now that we've had to tie or take the lead, but we have not gotten good shots. We turned it over on the first possession of the second half. We turned it over when we had a chance to take the lead the last time. This time, we want to be very deliberate, kind of like what Bobby Young's team has been doing. Move the ball, spacing the floor, and move the ball quickly. They haven't moved it as quickly enough.
All right, we've got a big slate of basketball here from Columbia. Coming up next, it's the boys' turn. North Charleston Cougars, boy, they're a talented team. Alan and I watched them a week ago taking on the Newberry Bulldogs, who flew under the radar all year long, but they are fun to watch. So Emerson Phillips, Stacy Huff, Bob Shields will have the call for that game coming up next. But right now, we're in the thick of it right here for the 2A Girls State Championship, and I don't want to leave this one.
No, but I heard Emerson say to the Newberry coach, he said, I can't wait to see your high-flying circus act. Bunch of frisbee-catching dogs on that Newberry team.
2:45 left to play here, and Allen, boy, Columbia wants it. Bishop England wants it. This is a competitive basketball game.
And you can bet that they will be very, very patient to get a good shot here.
Boykin loses the handle, but it was snapped out of bounds by Marisha Viktram.
Patience is a virtue on this possession.
There's a little runner for Corbett. Corbett has her shot swiped away. Alexis Folks with a big defensive stop as Viktram drives it in herself. Viktram's going in, can't get the roll, but she will go to the line, draws the foul from Ellie James.
I saw Coach Rooney mouth to the official going by. He thought that his girl got fouled, but I think he was not upset, but a little discouraged by that quick shot, even though she had a line to the lane.
So Narisha Viktram back at the line. She is a splendid free throw shooter.
And what did I say earlier? Game's on the line, 1 point ball game, fourth quarter. I'd be very surprised if she doesn't nail them both.
Kiernan will check back in as she will spell Ellie James, who heads to the bench. 2:27 left to play in this ball game. It is a 1 point Columbia Capital lead. Viktram gets the friendly rattle. And she's got another. As she takes a few breaths, bends the knees, and she's ready to put it up and in.
Perfect on both.
Michelle Boykin will take it over to the far side to Corbett, now to Grasillo. Grasillo being guarded by Dorothy Brown. Grasillo will drive in, pull it back out. 2:15 left on the clock. Grasillo looking for a hole. Now finds Michelle Boykin, who drives in baseline, puts up a 5-footer, not there. Rebound brought down by Jaria Myers, the 5'7" junior. Collects for the Capitals. Boykin.
Good defense.
In on Viktram. Viktram blows past Boykin. Little hip pass over to Folks. Folks bottled up on the far side, and Corbett got a hand in. Actually, a timeout called before the whistle as the Capitals call time.
We saw Bobby Young call timeout because he saw his ball handler twist her ankle, and he knew that she was going to be in a bad way. So that's one of those timeouts they saved in the first half. Remember that when the first dead ball, they had a jump ball situation where the girl fell on it, and like he was going to, like it was a fumble, but that was the timeout they saved.
Well, what a game we had for you last night. We had a pair of great ones, Alan. Orangeburg Wilkinson, Andrea Ritter, and Zaria Snaps just didn't have enough for Dutch Fork because they won 61-29. And then, boy, what a game that one was. The overtime thriller as Gaffney led by L.J. Peak and 23 points, knocking off Shaq Rowland and the Lexington Wildcats 58-55. Boy, that was a great one. And then today, Justice G and Sade Eli, the young superstars for Timmonsville, giving Perry Stokes the state championship, knocking off Abbeville 45-30. And then Great Falls, another state championship for John Smith, the winningest basketball coach boys-wise in the state of South Carolina. They knock off Johnsonville 79-61. And right here, a minute 44 remaining, 41-38, Columbia leading Bishop England.
And we just had an offensive foul on the inbound play. They were trying to set up a screen, and the screener got screened. You hear coaches say that all the time, screen the screener. And I didn't know what that meant at first. Well, that's why. They screened the screener, and the screener pushed off.
Grasillo takes it into the front court. She's going to drive the lane. Grasillo has it. Bishop England with a basket from Caitlin Grasillo, the All-State point guard.
Another
41-40. It's a one-point Columbia lead. Now here comes Victrom going to work. She's being checked by Boykin. Victrom's going to drive in, drops the shoulder, taken away by Mary Harriet Moore. And here comes Grasillo and the battling Bishops. Up ahead to Corbett. Corbett is going to find a cutting Grasillo. Over to Boykin. She's got it, and for the first time, Bishop England has the lead. 42-41, 62 seconds left to play.
First lead of the ball game for the Lady Bishops, but they better play defense.
Folks wants a long-range shot. She can't get the friendly bounce. Rebound fought for. It's going to be controlled by the Capitals. They keep it alive with Brown. Boy, fast-paced action right here.
Yep.
In the final minute of this game, and for the first time, Bishop England has the lead. As you see Corbett on a beautiful feed, as Boykin comes in for the nice little straightaway shot. 47 seconds left on the clock.
Credit Alexis Folks from falling into the backcourt. She got tied up, but she was about to fall into the backcourt, kept her feet about her and her wits about her, and that really saved the possession.
Well, folks, tuning in across the country in the SCHSL network on SCHSL.tv, I'm here to tell you, we've got great ladies basketball in the Palmetto State. A lot of young talent, great action, great coaches. And I tell you, I am so glad that we're here to call these games for you because they have been nothing but a bunch of fun.
I can say this, Birch, that I used to not be very enamored by the girls' game, but I have been over the last 5 to 10 years.
Let's listen in on that Bishop England huddle. 42-41, Bishop England leading Columbia with possession, though inbounds here, half court near side. Victrom has it. Victrom is going to be guarded by Michelle Boykin. Victrom drives in the lane, will feed, blocked away by Kiernan. And here comes Caitlin Grasillo. She'll pull it back. 34 seconds left. This is where Bishop England is really dangerous because they can really move the ball.
Yep.
Caitlin Grasillo, left-handed dribble. She picks up the contact on the reach-in from Dorothy Brown. And these Bishop England fans that seem to be all around us, Alan, they are going nuts. Bonkers bananas with 25 seconds left.
Yeah, they've sat on their hands all afternoon long, and this is the first time that Narisha Victrom did not deliver. She delivered the pass, but a great block shot by Nia Kiernan.
Now Grasillo is at the line, and she misses the free throw.
The ball did graze the front of the rim, though, so clock is
25
running.
seconds left. Columbia with a chance. 20 seconds now. Driving in is Dorothy Brown, and she's called for the charge. How about that? Caitlin Grasillo, who has 4 fouls, no fear by the young lady, sets her feet and draws the charge, or was it Corbett? It was Corbett. Right there.
See what I talked about earlier. She was moving, but she had already reached the position on the floor. I think that was a good call by Esau Johnson.
Wow, 15 seconds left. And Corbett bottled up on that right corner and fouled quickly by the Capitals of Columbia. 14 seconds left, and I tell you, this will feel like an eternity.
I think what we're going to see here coming up, Birch, is that, and we've got a player that fouled out now for the Capitals.
Well, that's folks. Is this I've lost track, Alan. Help me out. Is this a 1-and-1 or 2-point shot here? I think
this will be a 1-and-1. Yeah, it was foul in the backcourt.
So
both teams are at 9 fouls, so it'll be a 1-and-1. And regardless of whether she makes 1 or 2, it's still a one-possession game. Right. And you can bet that Marisha Victram is going to create her own shot, either a 2 or a 3, whatever she needs.
Corbett misses the free throw. Fighting for the rebound. Columbia has it. Victram quickly up ahead, and she throws it over the head of Zaria Woodard, who had just checked into the game. 7 seconds left. It's Bishop England basketball, ahead by 1.
I don't know if that was a good idea, throwing it to the sophomore when you're the senior and you got a chance to win the ball game for your team.
So Kiernan will inbounds underneath the Columbia basket. And we've got a whistle away from the ball. And a foul is going to be charged on Columbia.
Johnson.
Yep, on Johnson. So Bishop England will go back to the line for 2 shots now. They've struggled at the line their last few trips, but Corbett is a very good free throw shooter. And boy, did Corbett come up with some big plays here today. I know 2 big 3-pointers, and then right here in defense drawing the charge. That was a huge play, and that's a big shot right there. And now she makes this one, as you said, Alan, it's still a one-possession game.
But Marisha Victram has to keep possession of the ball. There's no Bishops on the line. 7 seconds, plenty of time to get off the shot.
That one rattles out. They'll give it to Victram. 6 seconds left in a 2-point ball game. Victram is going to drive. She's going to post up a 3. Doesn't get the roll. Bishop England wins. The Battling Bishops of Bishop England High School for the first time in school history. They win a state championship, and they keep the perfect record. They move to 28-0 as they come back to win a thriller here in Columbia. And the Bishop England Bishops are your 2012 2A Girls State Champs. And I tell you, the Columbia Capitals gave it everything they could, but the Battling Bishops prevail here today. As you see, hugs all around.
The perfect season is intact. The very first ever state girls basketball championship for Bishop England, and they did not lead until there was a minute left in the game, and their manager has a green tie on that is a $1 bill, and this one is as good as a $100 bill.
Well, let's go down to John, who's standing by courtside. John, take it away.
Here with head coach Paul Rooney, first undefeated season in girls basketball history here for the Lady Bishops. Certainly must feel amazing.
Oh, it's wonderful. I tell you, the girls hung in there. You know, Columbia had us most of the game, and we just kept chipping away. But these girls believed, and they just played their hearts out. And we got some lucky breaks at the end. And, you know, fortunately, we came out on top.
What was the tone of the locker room at halftime, being down? Any big speeches, or it's just a matter of keep doing what you're doing?
No, I think what we told them is we thought Columbia gave us their best shot. We knew that was going to be a slow-down game. We knew what their good players could do. We thought that was Columbia's best that they can hit us with, and we said, look, you know you can play better. Now, I got to give Columbia credit. Their defense was smothering, but I think our girls stepped up at the right time.
Congratulations.
I thank you very much.
All right, let's send it back over to Birch and Allen.
Thanks so much, John. Bishop England, the 2012 2A state champs. We've got more from Columbia when we return here on the SCHSL Network.
Number 3, Brandon
Look at the flip
Burkholder.
pass. Here comes Lee. Lee, one-on-one. Fire scores.
From the acute angle, David Frazier.
Championship point, Del Toro. That's it. Hillcrest wins. It is Sanders. Sanders pulling away, showing his speed.
For all the best in South Carolina High School League Championship action, both live and on demand, your destination is SCHSL.TV.
We can get a player up here. Ah, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful.
We're coming in on 1.
For more information on how your school can join the Play on School broadcast program and participate in the SCHSL network, go to SCHSL.TV/SBP.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
Come at you. One shot.
We're back in Columbia. Let's join the public address here at Colonial Life Arena for the presentations of our medals.
Number 15, Victoria Evans. Number 20, Narisha Vikram. Number 21, Tiara Richardson. Number 22, Ruth Washington. Number 23, Yashi Johnson. Number 24, Nakia Smith. And number 25, Jaria Myers. And to head coach Bobby Young, assistant coaches James Kelly, A.J. Smith, and Tracy Adams, to the cheerleaders and all those involved with Columbia High School. Presentation of the runner-up trophy by Jerome Singleton, the commissioner of the South Carolina High School League. He presents a trophy to head coach Bobby Young and the Columbia High School Lady Capitals. Columbia High School finishes with a 21-5 season. Congratulations on a fine season, Lady Capitals and fans of Columbia High School. And now, presenting for Bishop England, the principal, Michael Bolkars, and the team that finished with a perfect 28-0 record, the Bishop England High School Lady Bishops. Number 5, Caitlin Grasillo. Number 10, Darsha Smith. Number 11, Katie Corbett. Number 12, Amber Corbett. Number 20, Mia Kiernan. Number 21, Megan Latore. Number 22, Ellie James. Number 23, Michelle Boykin. Number 24, Aaron Ortiz. Number 25, April Newton. Number 32, Mary Harriet Moore. Number 33, Nico Durham. Number 34, Michelle Lucier. Number 35, ZZ Archambault. And number 31, Camden Taylor. And to head coach Paul Rooney, assistant coaches Jules Schwerin, Karen Searson, Bill Collier, and Laura Marquardt. And to the cheerleaders and everyone involved with Bishop England High School. And now, the state championship trophy to our new girls class AA state champions, their first appearance and first trophy, the Bishop England High School Lady Bishops champions.
Well, there you have it, the Bishop England Battling Bishops with an unblemished record. They are your 2012 Class 2A state champions as they win a thriller here in Columbia. You want to make sure that you add the DVD of this game to your collection. Get yours today by checking out our website at www.schsl.tv. Well, for our entire Play On Sports crew, I am Bert Chipley, speaking for Alan Smothers and John Fiersteig. That's going to do it for us right now here in Columbia, but keep it right here. We've got more on the SCHSL Network.
Tyler Ryan here.